Good morning, traders. Welcome to Trading Together. I'm Mel Gacee. Today is Thursday, July the 23rd. Sorry, I'm fiddling with my camera here. July the 23rd, and welcome to Armageddon. Am I right? What a crazy morning. I am considering right now at this moment, before I even jump into greetings, I'm considering getting some puts here. I'm thinking about it. We are breaking the low of the morning. So let me see how this behaves. And then we'll jump back into greetings. 737.7. Little bounce. All right. I'm going to take the puts. I'm in, but this is a bit of a riskier trade. So don't follow unless you're in a small position. Okay. All right. Well, let's say our good morning, shall we? I am welcoming you this morning. So thankful that you're here. If you're here, would love it if you would drop your name in the chat. Looks like Mark is here with us this morning. Good morning, Mark. Welcome. If you haven't said hi, drop your name in the chat. I'm here to answer your questions, your comments, give you any help that I can give you. My goal, my passion is helping newer traders. So traders of all levels, but I especially love working with newer traders. I'm out of that trade for 6%. So I'm out. Punch it. And Rajenka is here. Maria is here. Good morning. Maria was in with me. I'm out, Maria. I don't know how far it's going to fall from here. This is a significant break here. This is important. They could do a look below and fail, bring it back up and recover it. But we'll go over how important this level is right here. And if we lose it, we really could see some more waterfall selling. All right. Good morning. Good to see you, Gavilan. Yeah, so say hello, drop your name in the chat, and feel free to ask me any questions or comments that you have. All right, 737 is our current low of the day. We are down, 103 points. Ouch. Alyssa, good morning. 103 points, down 1.3%. 103 points sounds worse than 1.3%, doesn't it? Qs are down 2%, 2.04. Mags are down 5%. When is the last time we saw the mags down 5%? That is being pulled down really harshly by Tesla, down almost 14%. Google down almost 8%. Google, after really nailing their earnings, really knocked the ball out of the park. Great earnings for Google, except for one thing. It's come to the point now where investors are wanting to see a slowdown on the level of spending that these huge companies are doing. They're doing this huge capital expenditures, and the market is wanting to see that slow down, and it's not slowing down, it's speeding up. So that is what the market wants to see, and this is why Google is dumping. Or at least so they say. They say Google is dumping because the market did not like the capital expenditures, and also same for Tesla. Of course, Tesla did not beat earnings, and Tesla down, getting punished pretty harshly today, down almost 14%. Take a look at Tesla's chart here. Let's look at the daily. It's pretty rough. No. All right, Maria was in late, got 2%. That's okay, Maria. Glad you got a little bit there. Look at this gap on Tesla. Oof. So Tesla was already making lower highs, already giving us some signals that it is not healthy, not happy. Lower low, lower low. And then boom, the gap down at earnings, 14% so far, almost 14%. When is the last time Tesla saw an all-time high? Oh my goodness, back here in December of 2025. Tesla has been on a downward spiral for quite some time. It did do this little brief recovery here, made a cute little head and shoulders, and then continued down on its merry way. So when is the last time Tesla was this low? Yikes, all the way back here in August of 2025. So almost a year ago, Tesla is at year lows, at its year lows. So not looking good. Good morning. Good to see you. Hi, Tatiana. All right, let's get back to the SPY. And so what we talked about on the last stream is there is a level here that needs to be watched, and that is the 50 period moving average, 50-day moving average. It is being breached as we speak, and that is bad news. Bad news for the SPY. Any stock that breaches its 50-day is telling big money, institutional money, watch out, this is going down. So most of the first hour of the morning, we tried to sit over this 50. On the last stream I mentioned, if we lose this 50, it's look out below, and look at it. Since we lost the 50, whoosh, all the way down here with a new low of 736. What? Let's look and see if we can see any support. Where is our next support? A little bit at 735, but really 732, 731, 732 is kind of what I'm looking for. I was not expecting that we would hit that today, but with the sizable drops that we're having on the MAGs, Google, Tesla, it is not outside of the realm of possibility. We could see a 2 or 3% down day. That would certainly put us down at 732. That level is going to have to be defended. So 740 is lost. And that was the main level that needed to be defended today. And it is lost. Look at this upper tail on this candle. Very, very bearish candle. So far, day's not done yet. They could still pull out a nice, cute V-shaped recovery. They could. It's looking less and less likely. But look at that upper tail. Bearish, bearish candle so far. All right, let's get back to our daily and see what we're going to do with this mess. What we really need to do now is figure out on the 15-minute or the hourly chart where the nearby support is. Let's start on the Qs and see if we can figure that out. Getting a little bounce here at 736.9, basically 737. Look at the Qs. Oh, it's a negative chart. Let's go back in time and look at where could we really expect to see some support. We're going to have to look left for a little while to figure that out. So we haven't seen these levels in quite some time. When's the last time we saw this level? Here it is. 686 on the Qs. Right there. Some support. No, we've already blown through it. 686 on the Qs. That's the next support level. I've already got that line drawn here. Let's take a look at the SPY. James, good morning. Do you think it'll hold 7,400 on the SPX? We've got, well, it's already losing it. Let me look and see. I'm looking at support right now. I'm looking at the 15-minute chart to see if I can identify some support. When is the last time we saw this level on the SPY? We've already gone through there. That was 738. Not quite as easy to identify on the SPY. 732, guys. I keep saying it. That is the next place we have support right there. 732. That was formed on June the 29th. That support level was formed on June the 29th. We're only 40 points away from that. That sounds like a lot. It's really not. So the answer to your question, James, and good morning, by the way, is I don't think it is going to hold. It does not look like it to me. This is institutional big money selling. In fact, I'm going to look at some puts here again. And this may be too late in this downward move. So I'm going to be careful here, but I don't see meaningful support. Doesn't mean they can't create it, but I don't see any anywhere near us. So I'd like to get a little push up before we get into the puts, but I don't know if we're going to get that. No place for an entry here. Just sell, sell, sell. Give me a green candle, guys. Next real significant level of support on the SPX is going to be in this zone in here. 73.50 down to 73.30 zone. I am going to take a put here. I'm in, punch it. Again, be careful following me. These are a little bit riskier puts. This drop is pretty extended, so it could give us a bounce at any time. So just be careful with these follows. Make sure your positions aren't too big. $736.4. It's also making new low of day, so we've got to be careful here. At some point, it will try to find a bottom and bounce, and that's why I don't like these extended moves, because we just don't know where that bottom is. I do have some support here on the SPX at 73.85, which it looks like we might have just, well, we didn't quite hit it. We got real close though. I do have that little support zone right there. So we could try and hold it here. Let's see. That's why I have all these crazy red lines all over my SPX chart. It's for situations like this. There's a bounce. So we may try to hold a little bottom here at 736. Looks like it's trying. And the MACD rolling up. Good morning, Guy. All right, so we're pushing the 21. If we break the 21, I'll take the loss. It won't be too big, like 20, 22%. That's not horrible. If we reject the 21 and come back down, that would be good. We'll see. All right, I'm out. Punch it. I'll wait for a better entry. I think we'll come back down again, but I'm not going to, I don't know how far this is going to bounce. We're beating the 21, so let's see. We got a nice bounce on the Qs. And like I said, when I got in, on these extended moves, they're just always riskier because you really don't know where they're going to try to put the bottom in. So usually I try to avoid those. But on a day like today where it's just been pure selling, sometimes it's worth the risk. You don't want to let those go too far. You want to take those losses quickly. All right, there we go. I might try the puts one more time here. Those would be the 738s. I'm not in yet. We are back down below the 21. We should come down and tag that low again. Oh, wow. See? Oh, they're just being trappy today. I'm going to get in the put right here. I'm in. Punch it. New low at 735.9. What I'm looking for is a retrace of this wick here. So they're getting a little tricky here. We might be close to a temporary bottom. So we'll have to be careful. It's getting a little trappy here. All right, stayed in longer on the original. I got 20. Nice, Mark. Great trade. All right, we're almost at the bottom of that candle. I'm going to take the win here at 4%, punch it. It's just a little win, but it's feeling like they're starting to get a wee bit trappy here, so I want to be careful. VIX is popping at 19.99. So it's going to hit 20 here in just a second. We do have some overhead resistance at 20.3 on the VIX. All right, here's a new low. Almost a new low. If they choose to break this current low, they may do it the same way they did it last time with a big whoosh candle. Let's see what happens. Little bounce here at the lows. Again, I think 732 is the target. It doesn't have to hit today. They can find support anywhere. They make it wherever they want to. But right now, we don't see support really anywhere between here and there. All right, there's a new low. Little bit of a reprieve here. I'm going to try another put here. I'm in, punch it. Again, these are risky, so just be aware of that. Follow at your own risk. These are risky puts. I'm going to get out here, punch it, 4%. I'm taking tiny wins along the way. $736 puts on deck. Not in them yet. They are pushing this down. This is definitely institutional selling. You just got to be careful with the little traps along the way. VIX up to 20.3. That is a new high for the day on the VIX. There's a push. This is where I was saying you got to be careful with these little pushy traps along the way. There we go. And the thing is, we just really don't know where they're going to build a bottom. That's why these extended moves are so tough to play. We just don't know where they're going to build the bottom. It doesn't have to be 732 that we get to. They could build a bottom before then. There's a push. I'm going to take a quick look at the gamma. The put wall has changed. Originally this morning it was sitting at 740. It's now at 736 with almost equal level at, not equal. 739 is the next, but 736 is the put wall. The call wall is up at 755. Unlikely. Unlikely. All right, 736, which is where we are sitting right now. And the important thing to remember in negative gamma, but how negative were we? So we're in 3.4 billion negative. 4 billion in put gamma and only 500 million in call gamma. That is heavily skewed to the put side. 3.4 billion, almost all of the trades this morning, all of the hedging is on the downside, meaning the more that happens, the more we are inclined to see waterfall selling, meaning selling begets selling and it just goes whoosh, which is what we've seen all day. Yeah, 755 how? Yeah, I don't think so either, James. But the only reason is because there's literally no call gamma whatsoever. So it's up there, but it's not, that's not going to happen today. We are down 114 points or 1.5%, which is really nothing. 1.5% is nothing for a dip. There's our push. See, aren't you glad we're out of those puts? All right. How much of the gamma is history of transactions versus calls puts in place currently? It is my understanding, Mark, that it is current placement because these are today's expiration that I'm looking at. So it's my understanding that this is current placement. And I'll be honest with you, I am not a gamma expert. I know enough to make me dangerous to myself. All right, if we beat this recent high here, we might be seeing a temporary bottom right here at 735 on the SPY. So let's see if they can get up over this recent high sitting at 737. That would say we might be putting in a bottom, at least temporarily. You've got to be careful there. We do have some call volume, and it's not that different from the put volume. So on the largest traded calls, the volume is sitting at 740 and 742. So could we get back up there? That would be quite the climb, but that is what the volume says could happen. Doesn't have to. Biggest volume on the put side is sitting at 735. That's where we pulled down to. That doesn't mean we have to come down there again. We've already been there, so we don't have to revisit that. Okay, that is pushing, pushing, pushing. Okay, here's our test of the recent high. Little slow down here. We haven't quite beat the recent high. You can see it here on the cues. It's right here. We're getting real close. We haven't quite beat it yet. I might consider calls here, but I'm going to be super careful. Nothing too big or crazy. If we beat this recent high, I might consider the calls. That is a lot of green candles, though. 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 green candles. Strong push. It's coming down a little bit, 19.6. No, not holding it. Not holding it right now. Not holding that recent high. If Tesla and Google can't start recovering, this is not going anywhere. Tesla's down over 14% now. Google is down 6.8. Google was down farther, so I do need to go look at those charts. They need to start recovering before we can see any real recovery on SPY and Qs. All right, it is climbing again. It's fighting with the 50 on both the SPY and the Qs. Do you see the 50 here? The 50 period moving average right there. That's where it's fighting. Breaking down again. The last several times it's attacked the 50, it just hasn't been able to do anything with it. Has not been able to win. I need to look at Tesla's chart real quick. We're losing the 21 here. I might pivot over to puts if we lose this 21. Let's see what we get. Oh, Tesla's dragging. Oof, that does not look good. Look at that chart. That is pure selling. It did hit a little bottom here, kind of when we did. Right. Yeah, a minute before we did. Hit a bottom and has made a small recovery. I don't know about this one. Here's the mags. Similar charting. It really does look like a bottom tried to form here. But we don't have a commitment to this recent high. It's on every chart. There's a recent high and we've not been able to beat it yet. That's the problem. Mag's down 5%. Ouch, ouch, ouch. And that's all Tesla and Google. Of course, you've got Amazon down 5%, Meta down almost 5%, Microsoft 3%. They are being slaughtered today. Nvidia 2%, not too bad, relatively speaking. You know who's nice and bright green today? Oil. Yay! Higher gas prices. Yahoo! And the chips also making a bit of a comeback again today. Hynix, SK Hynix up 3%, MU up 2.6, SanDisk up 2. All right, so Nothing for me to do here but wait for this beat of the recent high. That's what we need to see. Is this the beginning of a bottom, a V-shaped recovery, or is it just another lower high? That's what we need to see. Let's take a look at Google, because Google looked like it was trying to recover. Trying. Yeah, it looks a bit like a V, doesn't it? I wouldn't trust it until we beat this high right here on Google, 319. It looks like a nice V though so far. 319 is going to put us right at the VWAP on Google. That's this recent high right here. It's holding so far. It's not losing it. We might pivot to calls, maybe. That would really be a counter trend trade. I would look at 736s. I'm not in them. This is really a questionable area. Okay. I am feeling a little stronger with the calls just based on what Google's doing right now. And Google doesn't have to lead, but I think that they are on some level going to lead a bit today just because of how much they've moved. The VIX just kind of minding its business here, 19.9. Saying nothing to see here, but that's pretty elevated for the VIX. As you know, that this 20 level is the VIX flashing the warnings. We're in trouble, is what VIX is saying. Okay, here comes the climb, I think. think I'm really close to trying the call here. I'm close. I'm thinking about it. Again, it's higher risk because it is counter trend. I'd like to see it beat the 50 here. It's kind of what I'm waiting for. Hi, David. Good to see you. I'm going to try the call here. I'm in. It's high risk. Be very careful. Follow at your own risk, please. I'm out. Punch it. Oh, that was nothing. Well, that was a bad exit. I hope you guys got a better exit than I did. I made like $3 on it. Okay. I might try that one more time. I'll be looking at the 737 calls. Google definitely looking like forming a V. It has beat the recent high just barely, barely. Touched its VWAP, and it did get a bit of a rejection here. So we got to watch out for that. All right, I might give this call one more shot. I'm not in yet. I'm still watching. No break on the VWAP here on the Google chart. Tesla recovering slightly. Google recovering slightly. So let's see what we get here. Let's see if we can finish off this V, or it's just a temporary retracement. Okay. We're over the 50. We've got some strength coming back on Google. I'm currently looking at 737 calls. I'd like to see Google push up through their VWAP. They just haven't done it yet. We are now recovering 7,400. So something James asked earlier, and they are recovering that right now as part of this climb. And David asking earlier call at 7:49. If things start to go long, would you recommend a separate call at 7:37 as well? I did just trade a call. So yes, but with a lot of caution. Lots of caution on calls here. What's happening right now is Google is having trouble getting over its VWAP. I don't usually use Google as leadership, but today I am, because Google and Tesla are pretty much responsible. I mean, we've got other things going on, Microsoft, Meta, Amazon, these guys are dumping, right? But I'm kind of using these guys as leadership right now. So if Google can't get up past its VWAP, I don't think I'm going to take another call. Is that, I don't know, maybe that, I hope that makes sense, David. Caution with calls for sure on a day like today. Indeed. All right, guys. Well, we are coming up to the end of the stream. So let's talk about direction for the rest of the day. We are making a pretty nice V shape right now. So let's zoom out so you can see that. It is looking a little V-shapey, if that's a word. But we haven't gone very far on the SPY. So while it is giving us a nice push up here, we like that. It looks like we might have a bottom at 735. You never know on a day like today. If the institutions are bound and determined to sell, then sometimes these climbs are nothing more than temporary liquidity grabs before they pull it lower. So be aware of that. It's very, very important. See how Google is rejecting so far on the VWAP. So that was a good source to look at for leadership. If we move back down under the 21 here on the minute chart on the SPY, I might consider puts again, and I'll be watching Google. So I'm open to calls and puts, but I'd be super careful with both, because these days, believe it or not, it's just not to make money. So we've got to be careful and watch for the traps. If we're truly recovering, we'll see Google come back up. If we are not, they're going to bring it back down pretty quickly, I think. So again, I'm open to both directions. So watch this week and see if they try to bring it back into, maybe back up to 740, maybe back inside the range that we've been holding before we drop again next week, which is a real possibility with earnings coming out next week. So something to think about. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll be back again tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.